a powerful song to sing before I give this little talk, and we're going to meditate tonight. But do you know there's a healing going on? Yes? Do you know that? And I love the fact that this whole month we're talking about healing and what it looks like and how it shows up. And one of the things I'm very, very clear about, healing is not about getting away from a condition. In fact, what if the healing came to heal you? What if the deconditioned part of you came for you to rise up to become who you're meant to be? Mm-hmm. Suppose, and I do believe that everything's in divine order, everything is working for our highest good, and love is seeking to emerge out of every knee condition, every back condition, every neck condition, every heart condition. Love is seeking to emerge. Our brother Ernest Holmes spoke these words and said, there is nothing to heal, only God to be revealed. So suppose this dis-ease, and I call it a dis-ease, not a disease, the dis-ease was here for you to reveal more God as yourself. Yes. And that way we can embrace what we're going through, knowing that, love is seeking to emerge here. Life is seeking to emerge here. God is seeking to emerge here. And tonight we're talking about healing awakening, rising into a new consciousness. The healing awakening tells us what is happening. And the mandate is asking us to rise up in a new consciousness. And before we can even think about rising up to a new consciousness, let's look at that word awakening. Awakening is a sacred remembering of who you truly are. The awakening is turning us and moving us back to a place of balance and harmony. That's what healing really is. And so when we're feeling a disease or we're off to the right or to the left, the healing is to bring us back into place, right where we are supposed to be. It's something that cannot be acquired. It is something that we uncover within ourselves. And I don't know what your healing is tonight. I don't know what it is, and I'm not even concerned about what you're wanting to heal. What I'm more concerned about is seeing the divine presence within you, yes? And that is the work of a practitioner. We know the condition, we see the condition, but our work is to hold a consciousness of God, the perfection of God within you. So I love spring, and spring is my favorite time of year because summer is a little bit too hot for me, and spring is just right. And spring is that time where things are beginning to awaken. And this is my list of things that are awakening through this springtime, this new season. There's an awakening of renewal. Remember, spring mirrors the cycle of a return of light. See, we've been in winter in the cave. Who is tired of the winter and cage? I know I am. And now we can come out into the spring and we become more active, we become more energized. My sister here says, I got some flowers for your altar next week. I'm like, bring them, because the flowers are blooming, little birdies are singing, kids are playing. It's this renewal of life. We're getting active again. And we get to look at what was dormant in winter is calling forth to be alive. So maybe you spent more time at home watching Netflix, because that's what we do in winter, right? But maybe what's happening right now is a renewal of more active life and coming back into Sunday services or Wednesday services, being here, being in the presence, being in our place of fellowship. It's a fresh start. I love spring because I can push what I call the spiritual restart button. I get very active again into all my spiritual practices. It deepens in a way. I feel the passion. I feel the new life. It's all awakening within all of us. What is also awakening within us is the awareness and the clarity. I believe I am more clear in spring than I am in winter. Do you believe that? My eyes are open. I am more clear in my mind. Winter makes me want to sleep. Spring makes me more alive. And in that increasing awareness, we're talking about clarity of who and what we are. The next thing that we're awakening is the awakening of the heart. This is where, and I haven't dated for about 2 years, and this is not a call for a date. Trust. In fact, my brother says, are you dating someone? I went, no, because I don't want to date nobody right now. It's okay. But I do see it in the air. I see people and couples, and they're walking out holding hands. And I have friends who are starting to date again. It's a beautiful time where love is happening. And where's love happening? From the heart chakra. The heart chakra is green right in the center. And that is the energy that awakens in spring of love, kindness, compassion, oneness. It's something about spring. I'm seeing more people being more kind around springtime. Do you see it? People are being more happy, more kind, more loving, because new life is absolutely beginning to express and to build. What else is happening here? And we've seen 2 demonstrations of it. Creativity. Creativity in the summertime and springtime, it's off the hook. I see more and more opportunities for festivals, music festivals, for more plays that are coming to life. This is a time of creativity. Right now, I'm recording my audio book, and I was with our friend Tony, and we were talking about all the musicians that are coming in and creating new music. Something happens and awakens our creativity. What else is awakening? We are awakening to our alignment to living in our own truth. This is a spring that's calling us to be authentic, to shine our light, to be out there and and I love this saying, let your freak flag fly. Because listen, I don't want to be like the normal person. I don't want to be like everybody else. I want to get up there and going, I'm different. I'm woo-woo. I love God. I love spirit. I love North Hollywood. So in that place of spring, we're giving ourselves permission to be authentic. And we're awakening in consciousness, but we got to look at consciousness. Consciousness simply means this. It's the awareness that you are alive. Consciousness is the awareness that you are connected to God. Awareness that there is a God, and maybe you don't believe in a God, and that's okay. How about awareness that love exists? How about awareness of Mother Nature? Tell me about it. Mother Nature is active right now. Gaia is active right now. When you become aware, you acknowledge it. I love when we go a little bit deeper into consciousness is when your thoughts, your emotions, and your perception and your experiences are awake and alive, and you know what's happening. You're awakening. That word woke got a bad rap this year. I want to be woke. I want to be woke. I want to be awake. I want to know that I'm with my brothers and sisters in this room. Listen, woke is not a problem. I almost said a double negative there. Woke is not a problem. It is something that we can celebrate. We can celebrate. And so when we're looking at the consciousness that's awakening, again, what is the healing? I said this last night. Healing is not something to fix because there's nothing wrong with you. It's the consciousness of wholeness. See, you can have a healing and you can still have the condition. You can have the condition and be completely whole in your spirit, because where's the healing? It's in our spirit. It's in our consciousness. When we look at healing, we must look at the place of, I see clearly that I'm one with spirit, that everyone in this circle is one in God. That is the true healing. Part of this work, y'all, I want you to look at our world right now. We're in this heightened experience of separation. On this side, I voted this way, I love this way, I'm this color, I'm that color. And this right here in this room is a representation of healing the world. One day, people are going to wake up and going, yeah, I want some of that. That's why it's so important for us to continue to keep this energy high and living so people can find a place where they feel, oh, I feel connected here. I feel connected here. So what does it mean to rise in a new consciousness? Number one, we get to change our perception. We get to change our paradigm. We get to move into a place of unity and abundance. We're rising up to this deeper identity. When we release the little self and we tap and we start to identify with the big self, the God self, we see the namaste energy that's active right here, right now. So I'm going to ask you 3 questions this evening. Where is your consciousness at this present moment. And this is not a place where you can judge. We do something at all our yoga classes, and I hope to see you here for Sacred Movement tomorrow. We're going to do Qigong. We're going to do walking meditation. We're going to get in touch with our breathing. We're going to really tap into what it means to move the body in the sacred. And we do something called the Oath of Wellness. And part of the Oath of Wellness is that we have an agreement not to judge ourselves or accept judgments from others. The big one is not to judge yourself, but an even bigger one, I never said that nobody's going to judge you, but you ain't got to accept it. Part of the work of the healing, the rising of the consciousness, is reconditioning everything that we have believed about ourselves. Oh, I'm going to get that element because my mother had that element. Oh, I can't lose the weight because I'm big-boned. How many times have you heard I'm big-boned? Oh, it's just how life is. We get to move past that consciousness and accept the truth. Because we say yes, healing is available. I'm going to tell you 3 stories very quickly of consciousness that changed the world. First story, do you know who George Washington Carver is? Have you heard of George Washington Carver? There's a lot of people, elementary school, but did you know he was a very spiritual man? Did you know that he shifted this planet because of one thing? Carver was born in as an enslaved, we don't even know how old he actually was, but he was born in enslavement. Yet he rose to with a profound consciousness. And through prayer and deep connection to spirit, he asked God, this is a quote from him, he said, God, what is it the universe made for? What is the universe made for? That was his deep work he wanted to find out. And when God didn't answer, he started answering a smaller question. He asked a simple question. So what is the peanut for? What is the peanut for? And from that question, he created over 300, some people say it's about 500 different use for the peanut that we still use today. And hundreds of different ways you can use a sweet potato. His genius was in the alignment of his consciousness of the divine intelligence. He revealed what was already present. That's what he said. It was already there. It was already in the peanut. And he, from consciousness, revealed what was already there. I want to read you this quote. George Washington Carver said this, anything will give you its secrets if you love it enough. Not only have I found that when I talk to the little flowers or the little peanut, they will give up their secrets. Listen to this. But I have found that when I silently commune with people, they give up their secrets also. If you love them enough. Wow. Can you feel that? Love each other so much. Another story. Walter Russell. If y'all don't know what Walter Russell is, he's one of our transcendent masters. Walter Russell, he began his scientific career at the age of 50. Later in life, he became a painter, a sculptor, a philosopher, and he was also the oldest U.S. skating champion. He also believed that as you get older, you become more in tune with your spirituality. You become more creative. He described a profound 39-day illuminating experience, which he entered in the state of a cosmic consciousness. Cosmic consciousness. He went on to write a book called The Universal One, developing teachings on energy, balance, and the nature of creation. I love this quote by Walter Russell. He says this, mediocrity is self-inflicted. Genius is self-bestowed. How do you see yourself tonight? Do you see yourself as mediocrity, or do you see yourself as a genius? Because we all are geniuses. There's a spark of divine intelligence within all of us that's just ready for us to water and to expand. Last story, Malcolm X. If you have never read the autobiography of Malcolm X or seen the movie that Spike Lee did, it's so powerful. Yes. Malcolm X's journey is one of the most profound examples of rising consciousness. Before he had his pilgrimage, because he had made a major pilgrimage to Mecca, and before that, his ministry was rooted in separation, that blacks and whites should not live together, but we should be equal but separate. He witnessed people of all colors at Mecca. He went to Mecca and he witnessed all these people, all these Muslims coming together to pray together. And he saw people that had bluer eyes. He saw people that had blonde hair. He had a shift. I want to call it his Saul to Paul moment. And he saw all these people praying together, saying the same prayers, and them loving each other. And he returned transformed. And he changed from anger to a broader vision of inclusivity. And some people say that's why he was assassinated. And when you read this comment, this part of his letters from Mecca in 1964, the year I was born. During the past 7 days here in the Muslim world, I have eaten from the same plate, drunk from the same glass, and slept in the same bed, while praying to the same God with fellow Muslims whose eyes were the bluest of blue, whose hair was the blondest of blonde, whose skin was the whitest of white. And in the same words and in actions and in the deep of the white Muslim, I felt the same serenity that I felt among the black African Muslims of Nigeria, Sudan, and Ghana. Can you imagine that? To have that profound connection of, oh my God, we're one. Malcolm X came and changed the planet from that. When we rise up in consciousness, we will move from separation to unification. We will move from a place of lack to a life of prosperity. The big one in rising our consciousness, we understand that we are worthy. We move from a place of unworthiness to worthiness. What are these practices? And we're going to do one in about 1 minute. Daily meditation. Meditation. What did I say? You gotta meditate, y'all. It is the meditation that shifts us. It is the meditation that gets us to know who and what we are. Our affirmations and mantras really mean tool for the mind. We get to shift what's happening here so that we may shift what's happening here. Gratitude. Visioning and conscious gatherings in community. That helps us to lift our vibration. We get to move from the victim to the I am consciousness. That is where we're going to shift the rest. And people are going to follow along. People are just going to go, I don't know what you'd be drinking, but I want some of it. You could say, come on to North Hollywood with me. Let's meditate. And I invite you just to close your eyes or lower your gaze down towards your heart. And I invite you to plant your feet on the floor. And if you're at home love streaming, I invite you to do the same. And as we begin to close our eyes, I invite you just to follow your breath. I invite you to take a deep breath in through the nostrils and a deep exhale. And as we begin to settle in, I invite you to settle into the vibration frequency of unconditional love. This is the love that is the creator of all things. It is the love that has shifted and healed. It is the highest vibration that there is. And as you settle into this space, into the arms of Mother Gaia, I invite you to feel the energy of being held by unconditional love. And maybe this evening you are finding it challenging to remember or to feel. So I invite you to just recall, you can create it. What would it feel like to be completely loved with no conditions? To be fully loved and held and supported and celebrated for the divine love that we are. Just feel the vibration and the energy. And as we are choosing tonight to rise up in consciousness, I invite us to take a moment to ask ourselves, where is my consciousness right now? Is it a consciousness of limited thinking, limited opportunities? Or is this the awareness that we live in a field of infinite possibilities? Without judgments, where is my consciousness at this moment?